Alright, my brother was driving me home from work the other day. It was fairly late, and he was complaining about how I stayed late, despite the fact that he had not asked me when to come if he wasn't sure, and this was my normal time of staying. But that's not the point. I'm sorry. I don't really want to dog on him. I love my brother, but back to the point. We get on the road, and this guy is in front of us who is going too slow. You know, come on, you fucking idiot! My brother shouts out the window. Move your goddamn car, you stupid bitch. I look at him, annoyed that he's cursing for no reason other to yell at a windshield, essentially. He knows the guy can't hear him, and if he could, he wouldn't really be doing anything. He wouldn't be cursing because he knows he would get like beat up if he did. But once again, I'm sorry that I keep dogging on him, but you know, he continues cursing the whole way home at whatever he thinks is annoying him. The light's red for too long, F word time. He just always cursing. By the time we get home, I am just like there freaking grumpy as heck because he's back to complaining about being late, and nobody is happy at all. Because cursing, it really just brings more negativity into your world. I know a lot of people who curse to try and look cool and edgy and fit in with the cool guys. Which, I mean, don't you worry. I will get that in a bit. But first, I want to explain why cursing is so bad for everyone. Cursing is just a list of very negative, nasty words, and the feeling these words are supposed to invoke is a really sad, hurt feeling. So, why would we use them when talking to people? We are working to become well mannered, respectable men who hold themselves with dignity and pride. We are working to make this world a better place, a happier place. I have so many videos on mental health and why, everybody is so sad and how to actually be happy. But by cursing, we're just making the world around us more hateful, more negative. And why do we want to do that? Now, there are certain times to curse. Like, I confess, I do curse occasionally. I try to curse less, but whenever I want to express how negative something is or how bad it can be, I will curse. Like, if you remember my fitness video, I was talking about diet, and I did curse in that because I wanted you to understand by having a normal diet or a bad diet, you are going to kill yourself. But I mean, that's the only time cursing should be like passable. And even then, I probably shouldn't have cursed, but at this point, I don't really care. But don't curse at someone. That's just rude. And we're not working to be rude. We're working to be respectful. But let's talk about the cool kids now, all right? Because I hear so many people cursing to try and be cool. And they think these cool kids are the ones that are in the bathrooms, smoking weed, vaping. And it's like, why? What's the point? You're trying to fit in with a group that's going to die by 40. They're going to have lung cancer and going to need a voice box by the time, if they even make it to 50. And it's just like, what is the point of looking at, like, who looks at a vape kid and goes, I want to work with them? It is just terrible. And all these people curse because they want to be rebellious and cool, but it's not cool. Like, if you have a girlfriend, are you gonna curse in front of her? Do you curse in front of your parents? No, because you're too much of a bitch to do it. I'm sorry, I know I'm breaking my rule, but I am. Like, these these vape kids make me pissed because they've been ruined by this modern world. They've been ruined by themselves, honestly, and it is so bad to see them do this to themselves. And if you want to fit in with them, get off my video right now because this channel is not going to be for you ever. Now, two, it actually ruins your cognition because I was reading a lot of different articles for cursing about this video until I came across one that like really intrigued me. It was called The Power of Swearing: How Obscene Words Influence Your Mind, Body, and Relationships. And there was a certain part where it said that while curse words are remembered more often by the user and listeners, it actually damages your ability for both people to remember other words. So if you're cursing like a lot, you're ruining your ability to remember words that may be more important. Like, imagine you see some grandpa on the street. He's 80 years old. He has 80 years of experience in life, in dating, and fitness, maybe, in whatever. And, your brain is so messed up that you just kind of look at him like a deer in the headlights. And he could have said the passcode to the National Bank's vault of gold. And you wouldn't have heard it because your brain is so messed up from all the cursing that you can't even remember what he said for 5 seconds. When you grow older, when you have a job, and even when you have a business, if you ever decide to make one, you're going to need to listen to people because your employees are going to need things that you're going to have to remember to do. You're going to need things. There's always going to be people better than you out there. And, as you grow older, it becomes especially important that you learn from them to try and be better yourself. Because if you think that you can do this alone, you're never going to succeed. I know that sounds harsh, but you're not. All right. Now let's get into probably the most hurtful and most seeable for most people, which is relationships. Because cursing is basically like the word form of showing extreme negative emotions. Can you guess what I'm about to say next? As masculine men, we don't show negative emotions because we don't let negative emotions affect us. We can feel them, sure. We can feel anger. We can feel sadness. We can feel jealousy. I don't care. But we need to, as masculine men, we need to analyze these emotions and see this isn't going to help me and push it away. We don't have to burden everybody else with our negative emotions unless they can actually help us, which will be a video soon where I'll talk about when to voice your negative feelings. Unless they can actually help us, don't burden them. You know, we need to be still and strong. We need to be the rock for the feminine wave to crash into, and for cursing just shows weak emotional control. It just shows that we are overall lower than the other people around us because we stoop ourselves to the levels where we say such degenerate words. Now I know some of you may be thinking, oh, they're just words, but they still cause the same impact, whether they were words or, I don't know, a gun. I don't know. What are you comparing words to? That's the only way we really convey emotions, other than maybe slamming things when we're mad. But that's for toddlers, honestly. Do you really like swearing enough to show the world around you that you're weak and dumb? Didn't think so. If I had to not swear in order to maintain this image of strength, stability, of course, I don't like swearing enough to break that. Just don't take the risk. There's no point in swearing when you can use other words to convey your emotions without having to bring other people down with those words. Now imagine you had a girlfriend, because this is the relationships part, and she does something that really annoys you. Like maybe she keeps punching you and you kind of hurts, but you getting annoyed or something, and you choose to swear at her. Number one, how do you think that makes her feel? Because I'm sure she does not feel happy when her literal boyfriend, the person who's supposed to be the most loving person in the world to her, is swearing at her. You might make her cry, you might make her want to leave you, especially with the feminine energies. She might leave you on the spot. And do you really think she sees you as more of a man? Because in our relationships, we are supposed to be polarized like this. masculine man, feminine woman. Because if we go towards the middle, closer we get to the middle, the less the sex drive becomes. And for a lot of guys, sex is very important, but sex is also like the physical, most primal transmutation of love. And if we ruin that in our relationships, how are we going to be able to love each other like real men and women should? You know, as masculine men, we are supposed to be still, steady, and controlled to counter the flow and the wildness of the feminine. If you show your girlfriend that you have no emotional control by swearing, what will happen to her? Even subconsciously, she will become more masculine, and both of you will converge toward the middle. And I just talked about how that's not a good thing. So if you can keep the polarization just by not cursing, do it. It's going to help you so much in loving your girlfriend. Trust me. All right. For almost all of us in the English language, swearing is a way to show extreme emotion and specifically negativity. You know, it has its place, and as you've seen, I do swear to stress the negativity of certain things. But it should be used very sparingly, not like these modern people who use it every other word. Because when you're saying, "Oh my fucking god, I fucking hate that guy's a real bitch," why? Like, there's no point to that. It just brings more negativity in the world. You know, people try and sound cool and edgy by cursing all the time, but it really just makes you look like lower class, like just lower than everybody else. And as masculine, as strong men, you know, we're not normal people. You're watching a teenager tell you not to curse. You're not a normal person, but that's a good thing because when they're down here, we're gonna be up here with poise and control, looking down on them, maybe even having them as our employees and thinking, man, I need to fire this guy because you know, they're going to be like that subhuman work slave who's just barely making enough to provide. But we're going to be at the top with our loving wife and kids, being able to give them whatever they want while also showing them that, you know, hard work is very, very important. Now, it might be hard to stop swearing at first. And, you know, I still do swear at times that I shouldn't. And there will be times where you swear where you shouldn't, but all I ask is a conscious effort to reduce the amount of swearing you do. And it might take time, it might take a lot of hard work, but what's our saying? Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Bye.